Next up on the Hooks In MMA podcast, we're lucky to have 7-4 lightweight. He's got a big fight coming up soon here. He's currently training, I believe, in Glendale, Arizona, but he was, born in Wyoming. Michael Magic Hamel, how's it going today?
Hey, not too bad, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. We appreciate it. So we were just chatting there quickly, doing a little bit of hunting, talk about what you hunted for. And, your dad said you said your dad did that as well.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up in a pretty blue collar town, like everybody hunted on the weekends when it was hunting season. I mean, even the school district, like a lot of people get like fall break, right? We got hunting holiday. So we'd go out because they knew they had to give it to us then when season opened up, because nobody was going to be in school for a week anyways. They're all going to be out filling their tags. So, we hunted mule deer, elk. I mean, if you get drawn for like moose, they've got those there, mountain goats, bighorn sheep, got a ton of trout that live there, and brown. So any cool animal worth seeing, we've pretty much got in Wyoming.
Yeah, and living an hour south of Toronto up here, like my favorite parts of the year is when I can go up north and do a bit of hunting and fishing myself. So we got the trout fishing coming up in about a month, and then later, obviously in the fall, we got moose and deer and stuff. So I love that. I love hearing that. Wyoming's definitely a place I want to get to. What age did MMA come of interest to you, and then how did it transition from there?
So I can't really recall when it exactly sparked me, like maybe the super typical answer when I was watching like The Ultimate Fighter or something when I was in high school. But I've been wrestling since I was 4. So I was around the wrestling community my whole life. I did it at the Division I level, so a lot of people who I'd seen through like the college wrestling ranks, I'd seen them like kind of go up. Like I watched Johnny Hendricks wrestle when he was in college, right? Before people knew who Johnny Hendricks was, I was watching his matches, so I kind of saw success like people like he was having, right? Because the wrestlers started kind of taking over a little bit around then, right? It kind of started transitioning from Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys or even just like Brazil kind of running everything, and the wrestlers kind of got their foot in the door. And I was going to school in college to be an elementary education teacher. And so I could be an elementary school teacher right now. And I finished wrestling my college career, and I was like, do I want to go teach little shitheads all day, or do I maybe want to go get in a fist fight? So I tested my luck at it.
Yeah, and I think you did it the smart way, where you're hitting somebody that you're allowed to, other than the younger kids. But
not beating on the children.
Yeah. Obviously, you can't do that anymore. But just talk to the gym you're at and the coaches that are in your corner for your upcoming fight.
Yeah, so I'm at the MMA Lab here in Phoenix, Arizona. I think it's the best gym in the world, man. I love our team. I love the atmosphere we have. I love the camaraderie we've got. We're a family there. John Crouch and Benson Henderson have built that gym, pretty much from the ground up. When they first started the gym, it was like 5 guys on the fight team to being nominated for best gym in the world a couple of years, So I love Crouch. Me and him clicked immediately when I got on the team. I'd come from that really hardcore wrestling background where coaches kind of put you down all the time to try to kind of motivate you. It's like the who's got the bigger dick contest all the time. And Coach Crouch isn't like that at all. He'll shoot you straight. He'll let you know what you need to work on. He'll let you know where you're lacking or where you're doing great. But I've been on the team for 7 years. I've heard that guy raise his voice like twice, and I respond really well to him. Like you can watch my fights and you can hear him say something and me doing it immediately, because I respect the hell out of him. We've got a good relationship. And then Rob Emerson, who obviously is just a vet, he's my striking coach, and I've been working with him consistently for about 2 years, and he's taken my game to another level.
Yeah,
he's a bad man.
Couple of the best coaches around for sure in that gym. I've heard nothing but good things. So yeah,
and then
you're well surrounded.
Coaches, not even the coaches, but man, our teammates. Like we've got some bad dudes in that gym. Like every single weight class, we got bad dudes.
Throw a couple names out from the lightweight division there.
Well, shoot, our lightweights are kind of dwindling away. We got a bunch of 35ers and 45ers and then big boys at the gym. But, we've got Benson, obviously, who's in there at lightweight. We've got an up and comer who just actually fought last week, who's going to give people a lot of problems. His name's Ivy Nixon. He's tough, man. And then, we've got obviously David Mashad at 170, who gives me a ton of work, and he's as good as they come.
Yeah, he's fighting. I'm Canadian. He's fighting
Rory
McDonald. Yeah, so that'll be good.
Yeah, I'm excited for my boy to put your boy down.
It could happen for sure. It could happen. Yeah, I always wondered about Rory after his couple wars with Lawler if he'd ever been the same, and he hasn't seemed quite as killer instinct Rory as he once was. So.
Yeah, and if you're gonna put away David, you gotta have some dog in you, because he's tough, dude. Yeah,
it'll be a good fight either way.
Yeah.
So talked about the coaches, talked about the gym. You had a close, tight split decision loss to Adam Borks, who's obviously, he's a name that's gaining steam in Bellator and around the world. Actually, another fellow Canadian is fighting him soon here.
Kennedy.
Yeah, Jeremy Kennedy. So I'm excited about that, just being a fan of Canadian fighters. But talk about that, and then how that's going to help you on April 2nd against Usman Nurmagomedov.
Yeah. So that Borix fight just came out of nowhere. I was helping Benson get ready. So I'm naturally a southpaw, but I've helped Benson get ready for Chandler 3 different times. And I've had to stand orthodox for him. And so I started developing, being orthodox kind of throughout those camps. And so I was in pretty good shape. I was just huge. I'd already kind of made the move in my mind. 45s was always just a nightmare for me to make, and when I started fighting my pro career, I'm a super late bloomer. I didn't really physically mature until I was like 25. And so I started kind of putting on that man weight, and 45s just got harder and harder to make. And so I'd already talked to my team saying, hey, like, I'm going 55 now. Like, we're going to go on a streak at 55, get into one of the big shows. And sure as shit, like a week later, Bellator calls and they're like, hey, you got a 45er who can fight Adam Borix next week? And I knew who he was because I'd scouted all the 45ers like in the world. Like, if you're a 45er, I know who you are, because I was going to fight you at some point, and so I knew that was a good matchup for me. If my gas tank could be there, I knew I could beat him. And so stepped on scale, was about $176.
Wow.
I had to try to make 150. It's the first time I ever missed weight in my life. I'm embarrassed about it. I wouldn't have taken the fight if I didn't think I could make it, and so that was kind of the last straw. My body started shutting down on me, and Big John kind of gave me some crap in the commentary of that fight. He's like, he's doing this as an advantage. I'm like, motherfucker, I just lost 23 pounds in a week. You tell me what advantage I have.
Yeah. And you probably saved that fight in the card too by accepting it, right? Like,
yeah, and that was kind of the deal. There was people that were upset about me, and I'm like, hey, listen, he gets paid now. I stepped in on a week's notice. Like, I asked for the fight at 55. Like, hey, we're both 45ers. Let's go up. Because at the time I'm still technically probably a 45er because I've never fought at lightweight.
Maybe a catch weight at 50 would have been a nice even way for them to agree to, or something.
Well, that's what they agreed to, and I missed the catch weight.
Okay.
So,
whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is. But I mean, with all that being said, all the weight and everything, that's not an excuse. Borix fought a hell of a fight. It was a gritty fight, but nobody knew who I was. I was like a 10-1 underdog or some shit. I was the biggest dog on the card, and I think I won.
Yeah. I've watched it a couple times. You might have.
Yeah, I thought I won the first. I mean, I didn't do any damage on top, but I still had 3 minutes of control time. I landed the only big shots of the fight that rocked him, and then the third round I thought was pretty even, and then I got 1.5 minutes of control time on top. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm not like mad at Borix or anything like that. It was a super fun fight, and I'm a fan of his. I just think I got the nod.
Yeah. And moving forward, you got a tough out on the second, but no reason why you can't use that momentum and how you're feeling and all the stuff that you've developed since that fight for this fight in that fight.
Yeah. And, not that it's a not that it's a similar fight, but it's similar in the fact that I'm going to be the underdog. I'm not the big name, but that doesn't matter to me. I get my confidence from training with the dudes in my room. And if I'm doing to them on a regular basis, then I know I can do it in the fight.
Yeah.
So he's obviously going to be scrappy. Those Dagestanis are as tough as they come, and he's Habib's cousin, but he's not Habib.
Nope.
He's not really a wrestler. He really only wrestles in his fights when he's getting clipped. So I hope he shoots on me. I'll show him some of that freaking USA wrestling all day, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Our last segment, between rounds, I'm going to ask you a question. Just give me your best answer, okay?
Okay.
Favorite kind of food to eat?
Mexican. Spicy. Anything spicy.
Ooh, yeah, me too. Favorite sport other than MMA?
Wrestling.
Wrestling,
but like if you want to take away and throw out no martial arts, football. American football.
You have a favorite team?
Oh yeah, the Packers.
And the Cowboys, right?
No, stop it.
Wyoming.
No, well, so Wyoming is the Cowboys, right? But the Cowboys are out of Dallas.
Yeah. I meant Wyoming though, since you're from there. But
oh yeah.
If I came to Wyoming, which I haven't, which I want to do, what's a good spot to go to for trout?
Anywhere outside of Jackson Hole would be great, right? Just hit up the Snake River. It'd be awesome. I think that's some of the best fly fishing in the world is right on the Snake River. So, and you can go rafting too if you're into that.
Awesome. Favorite country other than the USA?
Me and my wife went on our honeymoon in Greece, and I haven't traveled much. That was my first time really out of the country. And Greece was amazing. The people were super friendly. The food was great. Like obviously the sights are amazing, but everything about Greece to me was awesome.
Nice. Favorite kind of music?
Oh man, I listen to so much different music. That's hard to narrow it down. But I think what I always find myself going back to is kind of like classic rock.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Who are a couple guys that you looked up to and inspire you in terms of fighters, guys that you fans of?
We already talked about him, but David Machad.
Yeah.
I've been around him for so long. I've been teammates with him. I've cornered him a whole bunch, just watching the way that guy handles his life and handles adversity in and out of the cage. He's just a class act. After he gets done with his fights, he goes back to his Indian reservation in South Dakota and gives back to the community. I look up to him a lot. I look up to Max Holloway a ton, even though we're close to the same age. I like the way he handles himself, and he looks like an awesome father, and if you know anything about Max, his dad left when he was little, and when you kind of have those situations, I think you can go 1-2 ways, and he's gone as great of a way as you can.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite fighters too.
Yeah.
And people, like you said too, which is just as important, if not more. So
yeah, when I had just started training, I'd been on the team for like probably 2 weeks, and Holloway, I don't know who he was fighting, but he was on a Phoenix card in the UFC, right? And he'd come up like 3 weeks early or something, and brought his whole team. And I didn't follow fighting really, and I didn't know who he was. And he was the nicest dude to me, like just super respectful to me the whole time. And then like I saw him, I think he was like co-main event. I was like, oh shit, that dude was in the gym this week.
Yeah, no, that's even cooler, right?
Yeah.
Just a natural, nice guy. I'm just gonna throw it out because you said this earlier before we finish up. Do you know any Canadian featherweights that you maybe could have fought in the past? You said you know a lot of 145ers around the world. Was there any of those guys that you could have fought?
Crap, I'm blanking on his name right now. He got called up to the UFC not too long ago. Got a shaved head. I think he's been on your podcast when I saw him on the Instagram.
Was it Kyle Nelson?
Yeah.
Yes,
so
yeah.
I got offered Kyle Nelson for 5-round title fight, and I said yes, and he turned it down.
Okay.
So I could have ran into him, and then there was another Canadian that turned me down right before I got called up to Bellator. Lucas
Newfield?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
nice. Well, yeah, it's actually, that's funny that you say that who were we talking about?
Kyle.
Kyle Nelson, sorry. Because he just moved up to 155, and you said you'd done the
Yeah.
same, right? So
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's kind of becoming the new trend, right? This is the best. I mean, I know people say this all the freaking time, like, oh, it's the best training camp I've ever had. Like every other training camp I've had trying to make 45s, my body gets beat down. I can't spar the last 2 weeks. I'm barely practicing. I'm just worrying about my weight. Like I'm fucked up the whole time just with bumps and bruises, and I feel so freaking great at 55, like just eating. Like I work with a nutritionist, so I'm eating clean, but I'm putting in calories every single day. So I think the more people do that, the better it's going to be for the sport.
I think so too. And if you combo that with who you said before, Max Holloway, with not sparring as much either, like maybe this is like a new way to do it. Like stop draining your body and taking away like, some power and all that stuff and speed.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, just to finish up, really appreciate your time. Sponsors, shout outs, or social media.
Yeah, so I got my X Endurance on right here. If you hit the link in my bio on my Instagram, which my Instagram, by the way, is MagicMike_MMA, not the 145 one. I got hacked, so I had to make a new one. But yeah, big sponsor is this supplement company. They're all safe sport tested, clinically proven. So you don't got to worry about what you're putting in your body. You should know exactly what it is every time. Don't got to worry about popping a drug test. They've been great. They've supported me for a couple of years. And then Arizona IV Medics, they come travel to you, do all that good stuff. If you're hungover or feeling sick, call them up. They'll come shoot you up on your couch. It'll be good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, it's good. I had to use them one day and they freaking put me in an IV while I was in the pool. It was awesome.
Oh shit.
Yeah, dude, they're good people.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's good to know. I'll have to check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe on the April 3rd, after the day after you get a big win against Nurmagomedov, I might have to take one of those injections too, because I'll have had a couple of drinks and watched you fight.
Absolutely. Have more than a couple for me.
Yeah, I will. So April 2nd, we wish you luck. I appreciate you coming on. Mike, or Magic Mike Hamel. This is Hooks in MMA. Thanks so much, man.
All right. Thanks, man. See ya.
Good luck. Take care.